Good evening, everybody. It is now just after 7:48 p.m. New York City time. Just wanted to make a fairly quick video tonight. It was at a request of a couple people. Basically, a walkthrough through Discord, how to the basic functionality of Discord, as well as some questions about QTA, the Quant Trading App. What you're seeing here is the SQs, which I took a position on Friday. That's why I have it up. Obviously, with the news going on in the world, we're going to have a little bit of volatility this week. I think there's a Fed speaker every day of the week. So lots of catalysts involved with there. But let's get right down to it. With Discord, is essentially on the left, you'll have your channels. When you click on a channel, then this chat room then becomes attached to that. Right now we're in a gold chat. When we first come, you're going to get a welcome message, and it's pretty self-explanatory. As you click on the left channel, the right main screen populates it. Sorry, I recently discharged from the hospital, so you have to give me a fair amount of leeway here. I still have anesthesia brain and on heavy pain medications, but I'm all right. We're not here for me. The way far left bar are your servers. These are the servers that you join or have you accepted an invite from. That'll populate all the way on the left. But once you click on what server you're going to want to be in, these are your channels. This is the local. This is the express, I guess. No, it's a bad analogy. But this is what you're going to be looking at here. So if we click on videos, this is going to populate for videos. These are the members of the server that you're in, the ones that are online, the ones that are offline, things like that. If you have a question that you want to DM someone, you can always DM me. That would be the top one here, all your DMs. So let's say you're in public chat and you want to DM Doc, that's me. You click on the name here. I can't message myself because that would be bad. What we'll do is we'll pick Sergio here. So at the bottom here to have the message, you type in the message here and you hit enter, and then it'll open up a separate window there. The DMs are on the top one here. This is the top one, direct messages. Once we click on that, we'll have a list of our recent messages here, and you can select each one to replay or continue the conversation that you were in. And that's basically the long and short of it. If you have any questions, DM me now that you know how to do it, and we'll see if we can get any more specific assistance on the way right there. So 0DTE stands for 0 day till expiration. 0DTE is a style of trading, otherwise known as day trading. Day trading is very lucrative if you do it right. It's very risky, either if you do it right or you do it wrong. And if you're doing it wrong, it's even more detrimental, because the swings that happen on day trading, especially if you're doing options, they're short-lived, right? So if you know anything about options, you're fighting, especially if you're on the debit side, you're fighting the time decay, right? And that's what usually in day trading we usually do. We're on the buy side. We want to capitalize on a move that we see happening. We're buying, we're in, we're out, and we move on. You want to get in and out. The faster you get in and out, the less you are succumbing to time decay. So a great tool that I found using that is the Quant Trading App. Now, upon joining the Quant Trading App, you sign on. This is your dashboard here. There you have the 4 top indices on the top here: the SPY, the Qs, the IWM, and the Dow. It'll tell you the sectors that are hot, the ones that are not, the pie charts here, and everything's clickable. You can go ahead and click on the Google here. I'm not, because I want to show you the rest of the page. And obviously here, the strongest stocks, it'll have the top 4. Sorry, I had a sneeze right there. The other thing is the dashboards of stocks. These are recently updated to include, I think, Zoom or Snap was recently added, or maybe Square. Don't quote me on that, but this is always monitored and will be updated accordingly. The last 4 are the indices right here. Again, the Dow, the IWM, the Qs, and the SPY. It'll give you the resistance, the support, and the max pain. Now over here, you'll have 3 options, right? The options being one of them, the open, high, low, close table, which is a data driven trader's dream. It's a paradise, really, because we actually have a few members that are preparing or developing or have developed their own systems using their own spreadsheets, using the Quant Data app because it's extensive. And when we click on one of them, I think I have one open already, it will take us to this a table that has more data than you can ever dream of, and you could just plug it right into what you need to do. It does go back to some years, I think around, this is 2015 for the Qs. Other data goes back to 2018. The consensus, well, in speaking with Brian, is just that, we came to the realization that before 2020, it's a different market. A lot of us probably on watching this video now just entered the market around 2020. I know I actively started trading around 2020, even though I was at Morgan Stanley in the early part of the century, basically. But I became active trading because I literally my job was unsaleable. I was an insurance agent, still am, but on that point, instead of going into people's houses, we weren't allowed to, or people didn't want us, and I didn't really want to anyway. But anyway, the point is it had to be done on Zoom, and using a demographic of 65 and older, that Zoom had a learning curve to it. So there was a period of time when we were just we weren't even in the equation of like, hey, I'm trying to look how to get my toilet paper and my groceries, let alone what to do with an insurance agent. So we all started actively trading, and I haven't stopped. I haven't slowed since that day. But it's the different market between 2020 and before and after. So here you have all the weeklies, and we can get into this in another video, and after, if you need more questioning on it, we'll get into it then. But one of the other options there is the table. So when we click on something like, let's say SPY or Tesla, or one of the main ones, you'll have this chart that comes up. This is the quant chart. This happens to be for Tesla. This was the Friday chart, and you'll have your zones here. You'll have your selling zone, your buying zone in the middle, the max pain, and you'll have the intraday chart lines. The intraday chart lines just give you a range for the day. They're not set in stone. You play it just like any other level, but you can guarantee. No, careful with that. You don't guarantee, but you can lean towards one way that if we come racing down and we touch one level, we're going to be hightailing it up to the next level. Even the day before, we opened up at the top level of the selling box. We came down to the bottom, and by the end of the day, we reached the top of it again. So if you showed this chart to someone who didn't have any experience in charting or any type of graphs having to do with the stock market, it's a totally different system. You could see how the levels react and play off of one another. This is the essential of the QTA trading style, if you will. We're not a guru site. This isn't going to be where you sign on to get your trades in the morning. If you do need assistance following along, I'll show you in a few seconds where Brian, who was the creator, is now posting what he trades. He's not putting trade alerts out there for you. In his thinking that this is trades that he'll be doing, why not share it just like we would, right? Just like we would share it in chat. Hey guys, I just looked at Tesla. It looks pretty interesting. We're down to the bottom of the intraday, playing along to the 2-day VWAP and the other one. That's just what you do in a community chat. So when I said the 2-day VWAP right there, this one is I've only seen it on this site. You have your regular VWAP with this thin white line right here that we're all used to. Then you'll have the 2-day VWAP, which takes 2 days worth of data into play. This one for me is, good evening, Cyberstock Trade. How are you doing, sir? The idea of this is that it's, for me at least, I love this. I could use this tool alone and I could trade on it. Because in the morning, I'm really trying to focus on insurance clients, a little more trading in the afternoon to manage my portfolio, and then at night, I do classes. So I have a very limited amount of time, right? I don't necessarily have a 9 to 5, but I have basically 2 jobs where I split I would say total of 12 hours a day between 2 areas, right? So I want to look at this in the morning and see where we're going. I might have maybe 15 minutes or half an hour. I can see this right around here, right around 10 o'clock, that Tesla was starting to have reversal. And you can wait another 15 more minutes, and you can say, okay, we're above the VWAP. We came back and we tested it. I would have my play for the day somewhere along this way in calls. Now with the 2-day VWAP, I love because if I catch it and I look at it at a point in time, let's say it was yesterday, let's go back to today. Not today, Friday, the most recent day. We came up, we tested the VWAP, we kind of broke it, we tested it again, we had a little bit of consolidation, and once we broke out, we broke the intraday, came back and tested it right over here, that to me would be a sign or signal that we're going up to the higher level. It's just, these are the easy things that you can get right off the bat without really diving into the quant and the data end of it, which I'm not. I'm not a data guy whatsoever. You can ask Brian about data all day in coding. He's a coder and a film cinematographer. You can ask him about that all the time. I'm not a data guy. I like visualization. I like knowing and seeing the human behavior that we call green and red candles and how they react and interact throughout the day. The interesting thing is, let's go back to our dashboard here. The interesting thing is that for right now, on the SPY alone, we have a zero option volume chart, or what we call the old vol chart. And when we pull that up, you're going to have more information. And this is only on the SPY as of right now. You'll have more information. And what I mean by more information is essentially more levels. Let me drag this down a little bit here. You'll have more levels. You'll have things like the previous VR, the previous call block, the absolute GEX, the call block itself for today, and also the 2 Sigma lines. If it sounds familiar, there's a hedge fund in New York City called 2 Sigma. Kind of uses a similar approach to it, but the idea of it is that it's 2 standard deviations away from the mean of the day, and when we touch one of those, it's a big deal, okay? So as you can see here, we reached the 2 Sigma line. This is the far outlying lines. The 2 Sigma support and the 2 Sigma resistance are on the outliers. When we come down and reach into that area on one, you can guarantee, not guarantee, but you can play. You can lean towards the idea that we're going to go gravitate towards the 2 Sigma resistance, which is on the other side. And this is the last week snapshot, so we kind of did play that out. I don't really play Monday to Friday on options, but I do probably get in on a Tuesday and see where it's going and play along that way. You'll develop your own strategy as you go, and then always chime in. Like I said, you have the gold chat that is filled with just, talk about curated members. These are like all the best of the internet. There's no, we don't mess around with memes and GIFs and pictures of puppy dogs. This is all about strategy. People sharing right here. BK Brown, she's sharing her own numbers that she's come up with. This is what she's looking at, and it's all a type of sharing and how we can better each other's trading. Everyone helps each other out, and this is what I like about it. So the 2 Sigmas that I was talking about, you don't have to scour through all the other tickers that are out there. You can just pop into 2 Sigma alerts, and it'll let you know with confidence and strength which 2 Sigma alerts that it picked up on. I know recently there was a Tesla 2 Sigma alert, and I'm not going to backtrack it now in the video, but the other great thing about when you do get into the QTA, the gold member side, you can backtest just about any thing or any trade you ever had. So if you had a trade back in, like April, that there was an earnings around Tesla that you capitalized on and you couldn't absolutely repeat that performance, you wanted to go back and look how would the quant charts help me in that situation, you can definitely do that. Like we showed you before that sorry, another sneeze. So we look at what I showed you before, how you can backtest, you can look at data going way back, at least before the pandemic. But I wouldn't, again, suggest go back before the pandemic. But it is there if you wanted to look at any type of other historical data. So now this is one that I used during the day, the option vol chart. What's happening here? Why are you coming off my screen, guys? I'm not done with you yet. Right? So this is imported. You can import this to your Thinkorswim, and the instructions are pretty easily spelled out right here in 5 slides. You can import your weekly and your intraday scripts right by using these 5 steps instruction booklets, and also to TradingView. So you'll have the weekly and intraday code, and the weekly gets, I think, at 5:30 p.m. on Sundays. Okay, 5 p.m. on Sundays, you'll have the weekly QTA levels. You copy it here, and then you post it in the script section of your TradingView or TOS. And the intraday zones and the GEX levels, those are at 8:30 in the morning pre-market. All these times are Eastern Standard Times, by the way. Sorry, I just, that's the key. That's the root of time that I use. So if I ever say 3:30 p.m., that's 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so these can be put on right to your charts, and I have a TradingView open just to give you an idea. This is the ES, the mini futures. We do, this does populate, if you're trading futures, it does populate on the futures charts. So you can just look right here. It's the same type of quant chart we looked at. Now it's on my chart along with my lines. So I can manipulate my lines wherever I want along with the QTA. See how that goes? Again, something I've never seen in the other platforms and tools that I've come across. There's a lot of firsts that I've seen on QTA here. This is one of them. You import it and use it on your own charts. Obviously, that's going to be, people are going to catch up to that soon. But here you go. Just you can peruse through all the channels that you have in here. There's a news channel. There's, if you like the trading ticks, that's on here as well. That's under bot requests. But when people were like, I think there was a couple of people asking about, they were into butterflies and iron condors. What you can do is just click here under option spreads, and this is where people talk about and show, especially Brian, he shows what he's in right now. He gives you an update on his spreads, on his orders, on his plays. The income spreads, this is for more further out, not zero DTE related, but more of an income strategy. More of on the credit side, more along the lines of generating income rather than capitalizing on a specific quick move. And this is where he shares all his information and all his plays that he's done here. And every one of them is clickable, and he uses the I think this is the Option Strat website that everyone should be familiar with when using options. But this is also great information, not only to follow and shadow, but to see how the person who created this tool is using it, and that's always a good thing to check out, right? The bot requests is the trading ticks. Every trading tick action or tool that you're used to is here, like the DP levels for SPY. Something I've noticed, I don't know a lot of people are familiar with this, but the DP levels on the trading ticks, it updates daily. So I've seen people check this throughout the day. Like they'll constantly in the feed, I'll see dark pool levels for SPY once, twice, and 3 and 4 times throughout the day. The same person, not necessarily on this site, but on others. This doesn't change throughout the day, at least from what I've known about trading ticks. They may have updated it. They will probably update it because I've been saying it about a little more than a couple months now. But this isn't updated throughout the day. The data comes in, they publish it in the morning, and no matter what time you look at it, it's going to be the same. Something to keep in mind. The other cool thing here is that we have the SPY 0 DTE, but then also the SPY weekly. You can get here the intra-week GEX levels, and what this is just showing you the GEX levels, whether they're negative in the red or green in the positive, and your spot. Let me pop it out a little bigger so we can see it. You have the strike here on the bottom. You'll have the put volume, which is like the orange, the peach, creamsicle colored mountain in the back, and then the call volume. And the net GEX are the bars right here. When these are red, this means the net GEX is overall negative, which then will tell us that the market is going to lean towards a more volatile side. If it's generally positive GEX, it's usually going to mean smooth sailing. With that said, the spots, the spot is where the price action currently is as of the last trade, will gravitate towards 3 things. The highest GEX bar, the absolute GEX, which is the purple, and the max pain, which is the blue. Right here, the absolute GEX and that max pain is taking up the same area, the same strike price. This is a heavy magnet, and it's also got a healthy looking GEX bar right here. It's not the top one that's what the 420. So right here that we're in the middle, you could expect, there you go, that's a good word. We would expect a move to one side and then use that as a bounce to get to the other. So this could be actually used as support and a magnet at the same time. Support meaning that the next GEX bar is way down a lot lower, less than half, right? If the GEX bar was significantly closer, say right around here, you can easily, maybe you could deduce that it would continue on and reach that GEX level before reaching this cliff. And this cliff, it should like influence your trading a little bit to say that we don't think that we're going to be reaching any more GEX going down here. This will be the last stop, and we might be bouncing back the other way. The absolute GEX changes throughout the day, just like the calls and puts change throughout the day, so that's something to watch. All this data you can use to confirm what you have came up with on your own or what you saw on the charts earlier, and use that to trade accordingly. How do you trade it? If you see there's going to be less movement throughout the day, we think that we're going to be ranging, you can play an iron condor, an iron butterfly, or if you're going to see some movement, you can have your fingers on the trigger for buying calls or puts, and like I said, trade accordingly. With the confirmation comes the idea that you can share your trades, and when you share them in the gold chat, you can get other people that have been using QTA for a long time. As I understand, there's a lot of like original members in here, and that's a testament. That's a testament on how this tool has performed for them over the years. And there's a lot of members that aren't in chat. They have full, we call them 9 to 5 jobs, but we all know in reality it's like 9 to 7 jobs. They go on in the morning, they look at it when they have some free time, they play the levels, and then that's it. Then they move around about their day. There's other people in here that are very, very supportive, and they're active throughout the day. And you want to capitalize on that. You want to go in here and pick their brains a little bit, or just watch them, because I know a few of them, they just post all day what they're looking at and what they're playing, and that's, to me, that's a hot spot. I mean, a high value of the of the tool and of the tool and of the Discord. But again, you guys, I really thank you for powering through with me, because I'm on heavy pain medication and also anesthesia brain for the next little while. But yeah, so any questions in chat so far, post them in chat. I should say, any questions for you watching, post them in chat, and I'll try and address them. I will address them, I should say. But that's really, I mean, these are the basics. These are the essentials of trading with QTA. It's just, instead of looking at and charting everything that we're seeing and try and wake up early, get our own levels, do our own configurations every day, this is an automated tool. This is a bot, not a bot. This is a data configuration that visualizes the data for us in a way that I can understand, at least, and a lot of other people as well. I've had lots of positive feedback so far with the members that I've personally escorted into Quant Trading App, but I've not heard any negative feedback yet, which is a testament, again, to what we have here and what we're using. And the greatest part about it is you can, try it out, back test it. I think the monthly comes with a free day, basically a full free 24 hours that you can poke around and, like I said, back test things and go back to those extreme wins or extreme losses and really get the sense of, wow, if I would have had QTA at that moment, would I have traded differently? And the answer for me was a resounding yes. So I invite you to try and do the same. In fact, I have the website here. Let's get this copied. Let's get copied now. I'm going to post it in chat here. Can you go over the supply-demand indicator? For sure. Cyber stock trade. Yeah, so what we have, what compiles here, let's see, I'm trying to get that. Forgive me, my mouse is sticking. So what I've come to learn in the QTA area, well, what are supply and demand zones? Supply and demand zones are just basically areas that you can see. Let's actually go to a regular chart. A regular chart that has areas of either stalls or confluence, not confluence, reversals, or a range. Okay, let's pull up FedEx right here. So in a range, you'll have an area where you can see multiple touches. Like right here, this would be a touch of a resistance and a resistance area. So in other words, we came up into this area, we found that there were a lot of sellers, people taking profit or people going short, whatever the case may be. This was an area that pushed us back down. This would be a supply area because people are now unloading and now there's a heavy supply. So because of that, the price kind of drove down. When you get back down to an area that we visited before, this would be an area for demand right here, because we came back in this area and now the opposite is happening. Now there's more people that are interested in buying because we're retesting this level. So we broke out here, we kind of came back and tested a level, broke up and above. Now we came back down, and now we're testing this level a couple times here before we broke back up into the selling zone. So buying and selling zone are similar. The way that translates into the QTA are these levels that are imported every day to your platform. So you would use these levels, and just like that, what we said before, it came up, it wanted to come back down, came up, come back down. This is an area of supply. This conversely would be an area of support, and we can do this by back testing or just rewinding. And you go to the top left screen here, and you can actually pull up a calendar. You've probably done that. You can pull up a calendar and go to the week or the exact date that you wanted to take a look at. So we'll go back, I think it was September, when was I now? September, let's go to the 21st. Maybe it was a week before that. So the supply and demand areas, zones, are essentially places where you're going to expect to see a reversal in price action. So as we come up here, this is not really a good example either. There was a really good example on one of these, and I apologize for not being able to find it. But the idea is that when you see it go into one zone, you can expect it to go back down into the other zone. And same thing with the intraday levels. The intraday levels are put there from looking left, from looking at where the next touch would be. And that could also be the daily supply and demand zones. It's just the area where you see a reversal. When we come up here, we see that there's a lot of sellers in this area. We come back down, and we start to see that there's a lot of buyers. So if we fast forward, we're looking at the September 8th, the next week, we should see a bounce up from that zone. I think it's a little slow because I'm sharing and there's a little less of a bandwidth. So from that last day, on the 8th, right? We're coming back up, and now we're into the supply zone. So that's just one way that you can work the zones to your advantage, right? Essentially, when you hit one area, you hit 1-2 sigma, then you expect it to drive itself to the other 2 sigma or to the other zone. All right, I hope I addressed that question. Sometimes I beat it to, I oversell it. That's what a lot of people have told me. Like I take the long way to a short answer, but I hope that kind of solidified it right there for you. But again, I mean, if you guys have any questions after coming in, there's such a great support system, and there actually is a support channel. If you have any questions, you can just reach out, help and support right here. You can create a ticket, and you'll get an answer in a timely fashion. The public chat is on the free side. I like to stop in there and check out with everyone. Hey, I only see a daily Sigma 2 level. Can we do 2-hour Sigma levels also? This can help us to do day trading. If you could plot daily 2-hour Sigma levels, that can help day trading. That would be a question for Bryant, and I'm just going to let him know that I've seen this. I'm going to put a little eyes there. And this is what we do. You just let them know that I've seen it, and I'm going to do it. No problem, Cyberstock. So where we are right now in QTA, as far as when I came on board over the summer, I think it's great, and Bryant thinks it is definitely helping him focus more on what he wants to focus on, right? Obviously, you can be good at trading, but really love and have a passion for something else, which would be a perfect a perfect world, right? So that's exactly where he is. He uses this tool to simplify the amount of time, or condense the amount of time that he is using it, and he wants to come back. He wants to use that extra time saved to go and do what he loves, which is cinematography. This can be for everyone. Everyone can use that same formula to really spend less time staring at lines in a computer and more time really enjoying life. So if I don't have access to a computer to transfer the script, would the app show me a chart with the levels? Absolutely. So that's what I do, because I'm on the site so much during the day. I don't really import them. What you can do is right here, you can go to charts, you can go to quant levels, and as that pulls up, you can try and think about what stock you would want to see the quant levels on. And here is the SPY right here, and you can quick change right here by clicking on the ticker, and we have all the universe is ever growing. That includes the QTA universe. Obviously, there are limitations. QTA can't really do penny stocks because there's just not enough data, and it can't do anything that doesn't have options because there's no way to tell how the options is moving that particular equity or indice. So you want to see something with heavier volume, things that have options, that have liquidity, right? That's one of the check marks we have. So if there's anything that has low volume, low liquidity, it would not necessarily be covered under the QTA. But it is extensive, and we're always adding more that become more voluminous or more have more liquidity. And just like that last person, Duriak said, he reached out with a suggestion, and we're going to pass that along. And maybe that's in the works, maybe it's not, but we're going to find out. And let's see what the response was, actually, while we're right here. Oh, okay, he posted it, tagging Brian. Perfect. That would be a developing kind of thing, so I don't know if that can just be added easily. But we'll see. We'll see. That's above my pay grade, for sure. That's really the long and short of the basics of it all. Everything else, you kind of learn strategy and how other people use it, the more time you spend in the chat and using the tool. And we have plenty of videos. Most of the videos were transferred to the public side on YouTube, so they're not clearly categorized so much more on here. They were moved. They were made more for the public domain. So the good news is they're out there, and you can spend as much time as you want going over them. I joined on a Sunday, and I spent all day Sunday watching videos, and then Monday and Tuesday I made my first trade, and I made back what hold on, let me pull up the actual that's the join. So if you play it correctly and you get to actually understand how it works, it is one of those tools that it's a glance and go kind of a tool. You want to look at it, get a feeling on where you want to be, and from then on, you can go and try and enjoy your day. I'm not saying this is, you can leave it without checking on it. That's not what I'm saying at all, but what you can do is have a little more confidence in where the price action was going, rather than just looking at a blind chart and sailing without a map or any compass or tools. So the Quant Trading app we priced it into 4 levels. There are 3 here. There's one special level, which is a 3-year upgrade. But the weekly, I suggest it's not even enough time to really get started. The 200 is one of the best deals there is. That you get a 1-day free trial. That's more than enough time to back test any type of thing you want to throw at it. It's $200 a month, but I'm telling you, when other tools charge $200 a month, you're following a guru. You're following an expert, so to speak. And they want to give you, say, 10% of everything, and you're kind of hooked on for never learning exactly how to use it yourself. With this is the tool that's letting you use it yourself. You can judge, okay, I see the next level coming up here on the quant table, but I wouldn't know how to use it without using the tool, right? So anyway, $200 a month, and the annual is $1,900, and it's a 20% off, and then you get 2 days free trial. So these are the levels that for gold membership. And I'm sorry if I seem off today, and I do apologize again for not being at my my ultimate high octane level, but I will be back to the annoying level very, very soon. So be careful what you wish for. When I used to start streams, people used to say, "Oh, you're talking very low. Your volume is very low." I'm like, "Be careful what you wish for, because come around 1 o'clock, my New York accent and my New York attitude comes out, and I'll be screaming into the mic, and you'll be sorry." But anyway, see, even my jokes are poor. It's terrible, very terrible situation. But again, this is a community and a tool to join. The community is there to help you learn how to use the tool and how other people use the tool. And the tool is there for you forever, however long you trade with it. I can't imagine trading without it. So that's really up to you now. So again, if there are any integral or specific questions, I'm trying to get my vocabulary back too. It's terrible. Any specific questions, hit me up there at stockdoc2k@gmail.com. The one critical thing you need for trading with QTA is the understanding of options. It doesn't really work if you're using shares. It doesn't really work if you're using penny stocks or anything like that. But if you do need to learn options, I have an options course that I've gotten everyone up to speed with. It's one-on-one. It's not a ridiculous forever client. It's a course. We go at your speed. I answer your questions. Again, a one-on-one setting, I believe, is the only way to learn how to trade stocks and learn anything having to do with stocks. So any questions on that, again, reach out, StockDoc2K. It's at the bottom of the on your screen there. And I'm going to have to check in the last time I had a pain medication, because I'm starting to, my back is starting to act up, and my leg is feeling like it's bombed. It's about to explode. But other than that, I'm glad to be home from the hospital and glad to be in front of all you great people. So yeah, I'm going to leave this up for a little while. If you guys have any questions that you think of once my voice stops chattering, you let me know, and we can address it. I'm going to leave this up on the ES. I think the market's, oh yeah, it's after 8:30. No thanks, I will not upgrade. I do not need to. I do not require an upgrade. Okay, so we had a dip on the shorts. This might be because of the escalation and turmoil that's happening, and all my prayers go out to all the people that are really being victims of these acts. But this is what the world is, and the market reflects that. Whether this is because of that or something else, we'll have to wait and see. But these are the futures right now that's live for the last 2 hours and 15 minutes or so, or 2 hours and 25 minutes or so. Yeah, that's about that, guys. I really want to thank everyone for coming in. And again, I'll leave this up for a little bit if anyone thinks of any questions they have. And my email's there if you have any questions for me personally. And yeah, let's get this party going. Like, this week is going to be a very volatile week with all the catalysts and everything. When there's more catalysts, I use price action tools with less of a conviction rate, but I still like to have them up to actually see my levels and see which ones are going to be broken. So if there was a time to just watch videos and practice the craft of using the tool in the background, this would be the week to use it, and then go live with it perhaps next week. All right, the week of the 27th expiration date, because this week's is the 13th. Right, so you can take a week or two to learn it. Again, any questions, hit me up at that email right there, stockdoc2k@gmail.com, or simply click on the app, the quanttradingapp.com link that I posted in chat. See, I'm telling you, it's these simple words that are just escaping from my vernacular. So I don't know if I apologize for not having a sense of humor, or maybe it was a godsend that I didn't have a sense of humor today. Sorry, I saved you guys of all my cheesy jokes. But it definitely was a pleasure hanging out with you guys. And I'll leave this up for a little while and see if any questions come in. And again, this is something that you have to look at in an economical sense. Like, I don't see myself not trading with this in the next 3 years. So I would be a candidate for our three-year discount. I would really like to say it's a special tier. It's not really advertised, so just give me a contact shout at the email down there if you're interested in it. But you do have to look at the other, what is the other level? The annual plan. Consider that, not really right off the bat, so to speak, but something that you want to maybe consider after you like it. So the annual is not there just for decoration. It is a very popular tier, and it's for the more economical people out there. You know, why not save on something you're going to be using every day? Like if my cable company came up to me and said, hey, listen, you know, we're going to be giving a deal for if you sign up for 2 years, we're going to give you 1 year just about for free. I would say, yeah, because I don't see myself not using cable television in the next 3 years. So I'm going on a little bit of a ramble only to give some time to people to post some questions in at the bottom. And if you're watching this in the future, drop a comment down below. I would love that. And if you see someone else commenting, you have the answer or you have a similar question, comment on that and maybe start a back and forth, and we'll address it when I see it. All right, so I'm going to stop talking here for a little bit, guys. And I really want to thank you for coming down. It's now about 8:30 on Sunday night, October 8th, 2023. And I hope you guys all had a great weekend and you're ready for the week ahead. And I hope everyone's nice, sound, and safe and healthy, because health is wealth. And I'll see you guys next time.